Hello, friends. It's Monica, also known as Sleeved After 60, and I'm coming to you for my week 2 update post weight loss surgery. I had VSG sleeve at University of Minnesota Fairview Hospital on March 14th, 2017, with Dr. Daniel Leslie. So today is March 28th, 2017, and my weight today was 191.8. My surgery weight was 198. My highest was 240 back in June of 2015. And my pre-surgery weight in November, when I started with the University of Minnesota, was 224. So, how much did I lose? I don't know. The last 2 weeks I've lost 6.2 pounds. And then if you count, the fact that I was 224, I don't know, do the math. It's not that important, right? Just that the scale is going the right way. So, what do I want to talk to you about? Today I just want to give an update, especially for people who are in the same area as I am. What I'm finding is that I'm not back to normal. My energy is not back to normal at all. What I am noticing is that I tire easily. Like I just got home from being out and about 4 hours. We just needed to, run a couple of errands, appointment, kind of thing. And usually though we would have stopped and had lunch out, right, which probably would have given us a little more energy and all that stuff. We didn't. The thing that I'm noticing most of all is that taking in the fluids, taking in that 60 some ounces of fluid, it's a lot harder than I thought. And when I say that, I've always, this is my 30 ounce cup that I use. I would go through these, 3 of these of, iced tea in a day, no problem. I'm having a hard time even going into my second one. Granted that, I'm doing Premier. What I did this morning was I put the whole thing into some coffee, non-caffeinated of course, but some coffee, and didn't bother or worry about it not being hot enough, because I usually like things hot, just to get the ounces going. And I think that's what I'm going to continue. Tomorrow I can do purees. Hello, Michelle, my puree queen. And again, as I mentioned before, what I was told was just work on those fluid. The fluid is, you sort of like you have enough fat in there to survive. But you got to get those fluids in. And I have to admit, it's harder than I thought. I just thought that I got that covered because, of course, I had been doing that whole 30 minutes of, not drinking before and after meals and all that. I thought for sure that it wasn't going to be as difficult. Yes, I heard everybody say that, but I didn't know what other people's pre-surgery fluid intake was. It's hard. You got to do it. That's all I can say. Aside from that, I've been doing a lot of thinking about what I said last week. Still, that's what I'm going to work on, is just the scale is just a measurement stick like no other, and that whole idea of just, getting healthy and not being so preoccupied. A couple of things that I noticed was, aside from, from being tired, is that I have not had any actual hunger at all. The first few days I did, and I completely panicked. On the one, sort of like your brain tells you, that this isn't right? This isn't true. But in my, in my heart thinking, oh my God, this didn't work for me. Or worse, what if they're just lying? What if the doctor, just pulled a little and whatever. I know it's crazy. People, that's the eating disorder. That's ED, eating disorder. When I talk about that thing in your head, that talk, that is ED talking. That's your eating disorder. That's my eating disorder saying, of course this isn't going to happen to you. Of course this isn't going to work because things like this don't happen to people like you. That's one of my anthems is, I have to work for stuff, which is crazy because I've had a lot of good things happen to me in my life. But my thing is always like, the person who wins the lottery, the person who finds a diamond or whatever. It's like things like that don't happen to people like me. And a lot of you probably know exactly what I'm saying, right? So I've had to really rethink this about the hunger and what I'm deciding for right now. And I haven't talked to my therapist because I just didn't want to have to, go see her when I was on really post surgery the first few days. I see her on Wednesdays, and last Wednesday just wasn't up to it. And then this Wednesday she has, some kind of a training thing. So, but I want to make the most out of right now not having, not being hungry. Sort of like I did the same thing with a medication. I wasn't, my hunger, that binging or overeating, probably not binging as much as overeating. What I decided when I started taking the medication in December was that I was just going to work it. I wasn't going to overthink it. I wasn't going to overdo anything. That the medication, if I in fact wasn't hungry, that I was just going to make sure that I got nutrients. I was going to make sure that I was okay, but I wasn't going to fight it or do anything, because it was going to be over 2 months. This is how I'm thinking about this right now. So as far as puree, I'm not going to get fancy, because if in fact I'm not that hungry, I'm just going to go with it and just get nutrients, get what I need as far as my protein, of course with the fluids first, and not get fancy, not get creative, none of that, because it's not important, because after this will come something else, right? And that's just how I'm going to deal with it, and make the most out of this time that I have. And it's interesting because like today, going out and running a couple of errands with my husband of 3 weeks. Usually we would have had a good lunch, because we're retired and lunch is easy, and probably would have had kind of a bigger meal because it's lunch and we're out and about. Pre getting ready for surgery, I either would have had a glass of wine, and we would have had a great lunch, and then come home, and probably dinner was not a big deal because we ate a big meal. So what I'm noticing is that what I do am having kind of a when I'm yearning, because it's not hunger, but especially where we had to go, because one of the errands that we had to run. We would have had this great lunch, and they make a great salad there with salmon, and they have a great white wine. So it's not the hunger, but it was just situational that I miss going there, and I think that's gonna I'm gonna be able to work it in to just have a good cup of bowl of soup, and still have that intimate sort of luncheon, the two of us. So that's what I'm figuring out today. See you all next week. Thank you all for, especially some of you are just incredible. Some of the messages and the back and forth that I've had. I have to acknowledge and admit that I still don't understand Instagram. I don't know. I signed up twice for this class in my community center and nobody else signed up. So obviously all the other people are a lot smarter than I am when it comes to Instagram. So I looked for, the idiot guide too, and I couldn't find one on Amazon because I honestly don't know. Like, I don't get it when you tag me. I don't know how to do it. So I'm still working on it. So forgive me. If you tag me, it's because I didn't get to it. Ralphie just came home from a walk and he's so happy to be coming in here. Do you want to say hello? Come here. Come up. Oh, you smell like dog. Oh, look at Ralphie. He's just been out with his papa for a walk. So it doesn't mean that I'm not acknowledging. It's just that I honestly have a hard time sometimes. And the thing is, I will get it and then I'll forget that I got it for the next time. So, hey, I'm getting old and, I haven't eaten in weeks. So anyway, thank you all. Have a great week. Besos until next Tuesday.